It's the year 2024, and I don't think the economy can quite figure out what it wants to do yet. But regardless of what the economy looks like, I am sharing 3 different tips that are really helpful to help grow your income and your impact as a creative entrepreneur. I spent 10 years in the wedding industry and have now switched to being a coach for creative entrepreneurs and wedding photographers just like you. These are 3 tips that I recommend to each one of my coaching clients, regardless of what the economy is doing, regardless of what the booking trends are this season. These are 3 tried and true strategies to help you increase your income for this year. Before we dive into the video, I actually have free gifts for you guys. My booked wedding questionnaire. So this is the questionnaire that I used to send to my wedding clients as soon as they actually became official booked clients. So if you haven't gotten that before, be sure to grab that down below. I'll make sure it's linked down in the comments. Okay, so diving right in, this is number 1 of the 3 timeless strategies that I think work no matter what is going on. So the first one is making sure that you are cultivating really strong and deep relationships with the clients that you do already have. This can look like building a connection through things that you guys both have in common. It's probably not related to photography because your clients, chances are, not photographers themselves. So it can be really little things. In the past, I've connected with clients over the college that I've been to, or my love of Keegan, my cat, who can't see right now. He's back there somewhere. Or even just like home decor, traveling, or in a past life, I was a software engineer. So sometimes my grooms or my brides were in the engineering or the software world themselves. I've connected with clients over the weirdest things like F1 racing, like Formula 1 racing, which is something that my brother is actually really into. It's not like a super niche hobby of myself, but there were a couple that ended up booking me. And I really think that little strong connection that I had with them that had literally nothing to do with photography just made me feel like it was a relatable person that they could see being in their dressing rooms with them when they were getting ready for their big wedding day. So any little personal connection that you can make with them off the bat is going to be really helpful for helping you be memorable in their minds. But beyond that, I think that this looks like once you have them booked, keeping up that connection, because generally from the time you actually book a couple to their wedding day, it's gonna like anywhere from, I would say, 6 to 9 months. Usually it's more like a year or a year and a half out. And so the lifespan is pretty long of the amount of time that they're actually your clients. And I think a lot of photographers will do a really good job at the beginning of the experience, and then they will get in touch with their couples again like a month or 2 before their wedding. But besides the engagement session between, it's cold turkey silence. And so as much as you can kind of just have little touch points with them here and there, it doesn't even have to be via email. It could be like commenting on an Instagram happy birthday, or, oh, the countdown is on, there's 7 months to your wedding, or anything like that. I think a little bit goes a very long way. And the same thing goes for your clients who you've already had their wedding day in their past, or you've already had their portrait session in the past. Do you have a biannual or an annual touch point to reach out to your clients, show them your appreciation, and stay top of mind, but really just be more of a friend rather than a vendor? So that's really going to set you apart and goes a really long way to show them that you really take their investment really seriously. You take it to heart. It's not just another business transaction. Like, they're not just another number to you. I feel like could use a lot more emphasis within the wedding industry or the creative industry as a whole. I think that there is a lot of emphasis on client experience, and I talk about client experience a lot, but having client experience extend beyond just the things that's supposed to deliver to them. How can you go an extra mile? Something that I'm thinking about right now, just because it was previously Christmas, or it's Christmas right now as I'm filming this video is coming out later, but do you send out holiday gifts, or do you send something like a card in the mail every single year to your clients? A little bit goes a really long way when it comes to keeping in touch with your clients and going the extra mile with them. Tip number 2 goes along the same lines. So take everything that I said in tip number 1 and apply this to your wedding vendor, okay? They deserve just as much love for all of the hard work that they put in every single day for every single client that they have. Specifically, when it comes to building up those relationships with your vendors, you can do really little things on the wedding day, such as getting a ton of detail shots of all of the different vendors' work. Looks like getting pictures of the planner, helping get things set up, like maybe adjusting the bride's dress, helping the groomsmen with the boot, all the things you see, all of the little tasks that wedding planners do. Grab some behind the scenes photos of them doing that, and and let them know that you're taking a photo of them so that they can look cute for them too. If you see a florist setting up, grab some behind the scenes pictures for them as well. And also make sure to get tons of detail shots throughout the whole wedding day and then specifically during the wedding reception. Same thing goes for your DJ. Show the DJs some love. Make sure you get some headshots and pictures of them just working. And again, let them know so that they can look really nice for them. But being able to capture people in their element as they're doing the work and making sure to share those images as well as all of the wedding images with them after the fact goes a really long way, because you would be surprised at the amount of photographers that actually don't do this. And so when you can do that for your wedding vendors, they super, super appreciate it. Another thing goes more along the lines of not just on the wedding day, but how can you treat wedding vendors as if they were your own client? So little things throughout the year, this can look like offering them mini sessions, quick 30 minutes of family portraits for them if they have a family, or any updated headshots for them throughout the year, throughout the season. Maybe if it's a slower month, shooting wise, show your vendors some love. This can even look like shouting them out for their birthdays on social media. How cool is it when somebody that you know in the industry does that for you? Even just sharing some of their recent work. If you see something that they post and it looks beautiful, share that in your stories. Show them some love, drop them a comment, DM them, let them know how beautiful of a job they did for that wedding day. A little bit goes a long way, like I mentioned. If you want to be more formal about this, I really recommend putting together a style shoot that's going to benefit not just you, but all of the vendors involved. And again, I use the same strategy as a wedding day, but even to like the next level when it comes to a style shoot. So I always build in extra time to make sure that I can get behind the scenes images of people working, and I let them know before the day that I'm going to be doing that. So if they want to do their hair, do their makeup, do their nails, whatever it is, come looking more polished than they might usually, or come wearing something that's going to represent their brand so that they can use those photos after the fact, that is always super helpful. And I really stand by the idea that instead of just one concept for a style shoot, if you can do a bigger one where there's different themes involved. Yes, I know that's more work, but for a vendor, they're going to have more variety of images that they can share. And that way it's going to be consistent, because generally they'll get photos, but the different photographers that they're getting photos from might have really different styles. So for them to have a cohesive body of work that really showcases the style that they really love, the work that they really love, that's going to be hugely beneficial for them. Also, side thing, I am a brand photographer. So whenever you can work with a wedding vendor to take brand photos for them, that helps them change the game, especially again, for the same reason of being able to pull from a cohesive library of images to really showcase on their portfolio, on social media, on their website, all those things. You can take this and go in so many different ways with this. Send them holiday cards if that's your thing. Let them know about an industry networking event that's coming up that you would love to go to with them. Do co-working days with them, do a coffee date, or even a dinner date or drinks. It can be fun. Basically, I just like to let vendors know that I don't see them as just another vendor. The ones that I love working with are people who I would be friends with, even if we weren't like in the wedding industry together. So that's my little spiel on wedding vendors. Tip number 3 is something that I would go back and do a better job of if I were restarting my wedding photography business. And that would be showcasing testimonials from my clients. I used to get really scared. I thought it would be bragging or me not being humble, or I was like, well, would my clients want other people to know that this was their experience? I don't know. It was just weird about it. And I will admit, this is still something that I struggle with as a coach, of sharing my client testimonials and client coaching wins. But it's really cool because it allows other people to see, not just see the experience because they're seeing all your photos, but like to hear about the experience from somebody who's just like them. That allows them to feel like, oh, that could be me too. And especially when you're pairing like a really, really strong testimonial with an image from that person's wedding day that like maybe speaks to that testimonial. I know a photo speaks 1,000 words, but the words really matter. Hearing another person's experience is so helpful. And that's why we go on Amazon and look at all the reviews before we purchase anything, right? So I think that really showcasing testimonials, not just on your website, but really in your social content at multiple points throughout the whole client experience, from inquiry to gallery delivery, or how people love having prints in their homes. Have those quotes like embedded into different parts of your client experience. And I always recommend at the end of any year, go back through your client testimonials for that year. Or if you weren't gathering them, go ask past clients for those client testimonials and then look at all of them all at once and see the phrases that you can pull out and use that are really strong copy for your website, because your clients will always be able to convey things from their experience and their point of view way better than anything you can come up with in your brain that sounds cool but maybe doesn't really resonate resonate because that's not how somebody would say it out loud. But the way that your clients are writing it in their testimonials is the way that they naturally speak out loud, right? Like to their friends and stuff. So leverage that copy. So important. Another really big thing is making sure that you're taking people along the ride, behind the scenes of the actual work that you're doing, because that makes them way more invested in a photo, because it's like a photo of bride and groom is different than a photo of the bride and groom where you know she's really missing her dad that's not able to be there that day, and her uncle is handing her off to the groom. The uncle has really been there for the whole time. When people can get invested in the story and the context behind something, that makes the image that much more powerful. So again, kind of speaks to how the copy can help the imagery. I use my hands a lot, as you can tell. But even just bringing people in along for your process behind doing things, because to a lot of people who aren't wedding photographers, they're like, how did you capture that? How did everything look so perfect? Or they don't even realize that there's so much work that went into making that perfect shot of the bridesmaids seeing the bride for the first time, like everything that kind of goes into that. Take people along, show them the process, because they love getting to learn behind the scenes stuff about that. Anything that your friends always ask you when they ask how your business is going, when they ask you, have you ever had a bridezilla? I'm like, no, I've never had a bridezilla. Make posts from that, you know? So that's the type of content that people really want to see. So really just showcase people's testimonials, the way that people actually talk about you, actually talk about your work. It allows people to really see you behind the scenes and see who you are as a person rather than just the professional. And I swear to you, when you allow your personality to shine as much as your professionalism, one, it brings out those value points in your professionalism and ties them to like, okay, you as a human value these things, and this is why it comes through in the way that you professionally do things. But also people are going to first and foremost connect with you as a person. Again, tying this back to tip number 1, they're connect with you as a person first before they're going to connect with you as a vendor. So leverage that and let that shine, especially if you have a really unique personalized client experience and you go deep with your clients instead of them just being one of a bunch of clients that you have that year. Showcasing the really personal parts of the experience through their words, letting your own words shine through, that's going to go so far. So that is it for today. I hope that this was really helpful. If you have any questions and you want to talk about it one-on-one with me to figure out how this could work in your own business, I offer a free 30-minute strategy call, no pitch. The link is down in the description below. And if you'd like my questionnaire that I send to my clients as soon as they book to personalize the whole photography experience for them, that is also down below. Totally free if you like the topic. And if there are any other things that you want me to speak about or make videos around, be sure to drop it down in the comments below or shoot me a DM on Instagram, because I would love to film anything that you really want to get more information around.